What's going on, guys? It is your, uh, it's me, Miguel Lewis with Believe Well Academies. I am your coach, speaker, and trainer as part of the John Maxwell team. I'm just coming to you guys with a story. So I feel like I just got played, man. A few months ago, I shared a story about how I got into a wreck in June 3rd of 2020. I got into a wreck, and I totaled my car. And shortly after, I felt I had an impression on my spirit say, fast, do this. And so I did. And I fasted for a whole week. And man, I wish sometimes that I was not so naive, because at the end of that week, after I just totaled my car, I checked my mail on like Friday. No, it was Thursday. I checked my mail on Thursday, the week of June 3rd, and there was a brochure in there from Dennis Eakin, who was having an event that following weekend, and I was like, man, this must be divinity, because this popped up right when I needed it. It was like it was on time. It was calling my name, saying, hey, yes, you did it. You fasted. And here's your answer. That's what it felt like. So of course, I ended up walking out with a brand new car. In the moment, it felt like my prayers were answered. Of course, COVID has had and has played a huge role in all of our lives up until this point. And with that being said, things have also changed in my life. One of those things being me getting ready to become a brand new dad, probably within the next couple of weeks, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm really excited about. I went part-time at my job at T-Mobile recently, because I have felt a huge call in the direction and walking in the direction of this purpose of this business that I started, of becoming a coach, a speaker, and a trainer, to help people in my community, to help faith-based Christians overcome their obstacles, become better versions of themselves. And really, as I speak to you today, I don't want to limit what I just said, because there are people, not just in my community, but communities that are surrounding you that need help overcoming their obstacles. So sometimes it makes me feel like I'm limiting myself in bringing into focus a particular group of people, when I know that all people need help. And because of the circumstances that I faced recently, I decided, hey, man, maybe this car isn't what I need right now. My family is growing. I need something better. I need something that's going to suit me. I need something that is going to enable me to help provide for my family. And I just got back from a dealership, and I'm really grateful for this guy. He's been in the industry, over at Carl Shelton in Temple, Texas. He's been in the industry. His name's Kevin, by the way. He's been in the industry since he was about 40 years old. He's 61, so he's been doing this for quite a long time. And I really admire this guy, because he kept it real with me. There was no BS. There was no filter. There was nothing hindering him from being 100% transparent with me. And he explained to me, we just did a quote on your car. We evaluated its value, and I'm sorry to tell you, but your car isn't nearly worth what you financed it for. And it's only been 6 months, maybe 7 at the most, since I got that new car, and it was a huge blow. And usually when I receive news like that, it begins to bring about something in my spirit that it becomes a feeling of injustice. Like I said at the beginning, it felt like I got played. It felt like I was lied to. Now, of course, when we're in situations like this, we do have to take accountability and responsibility for our own actions, because I did decide to go to the dealership where I got my car from. I did decide to drive off with a brand new car. I did decide to do what it was that I did. And so in the face of that, I do accept accountability, but we don't need anymore. We don't, because of the condition of our world, we don't need people who give us and feed us what it is that we want to hear. We don't need lies. I'm 28 years old right now, and I'm sure there are a lot of you that can relate that in your 20s, like, we're trying to build right now. We hear the term generational wealth so much that we've heard it so much over the last few years, I'd say even the last decade, that is how we're aiming to live our lives, and especially our young people out here. We don't need any more people telling us or feeding us what it is that we want to hear just because they think it's what we want to hear. I don't need anything that's going to, and we don't need anything that's going to benefit us right now that sounds good, that feels good, that makes us feel all warm and bubbly inside. We need something and somebody and people who are going to give us the truth so that we can continue to become the people that we're going to be, so that we can continue to walk the path that we were meant to walk, period. We don't need politicians who lie to us. Like at this point, really, who really knows what's going on? Who really knows what's going on in our country? Because every time we turn around, the media is feeding something that we really don't even know if we can trust in. Our politicians are saying things that we don't know if we can trust. We don't know how well they hold themselves accountable for what it is that they say. There is so much going on in our world right now, and most people these days are either trying to sustain themselves or trying to build their lives, and we still have people here in our country who are feeding us BS, and telling us lies, making us feel good, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we feel like we're 5 steps back from the place where we felt like we were gaining traction, like where we were gaining movement, where we were becoming better. We felt like we were becoming better people. We felt like the people that we were in that were in office, the people that we were in front of, actually cared for us. And then we come to learn that it was all just a facade, that it was all just a play and a ploy to get you in and get you out. And we don't need any more of that, especially, like, I cannot emphasize this enough for our young folks out here who haven't even reached the age of 20. Our country is headed in such a different direction than we ever thought it was going to go. This pandemic has changed so much, but right now I feel like what we need to know is that we need to do research. We need to look into things concerning our finances, and this is huge because most of us have felt like we were in a hole. Most of us, like I said, are trying to sustain ourselves. Most of us, if not everyone, is trying to take care and provide for their families. And I must say that yes, regardless of whether or not we all received a stimulus package or a stimulus check, a stimulus is beneficial for the moment. But just as we've seen in the past, a stimulus is good for the moment, but in the long term, it does more damage than it does harm, or it does more damage than it does good. When we continue to print money, the value of our dollar decreases and decreases and decreases. And just as every other fiat currency has done in the past, the dollar will one day go away. It will not be worth anything anymore. And those of us who have not done our research and looked into the matter and prepared ourselves for what is beyond a doubt coming are going to catch ourselves off guard, not knowing what to do. Credit is so important. Man, I cannot stress that one enough. We cannot continue to purchase things, and I'm saying this from experience now, because we all have to go through things in order to help us learn, in order to help us become a better person. There's no such thing as life without struggle or trial or adversity, but it is up to us as the people who go through these things to not only experience them, but to come out on the other side a better person, better people, better people. And so we have to do our due diligence. We have to do our due diligence and look into these things. Don't just take my word for it because it sounds good. I don't want you to listen to me because I sound good. I want you to listen to me and go do your own research and say, man, this makes sense because it's what you saw. It's what you read. It's what you studied. It's what you researched. We have to take accountability for this, guys. It sounds good to have leaders. It sounds good to have people who seem on the surface to have our best interests at heart. The people that I'm talking about, especially politicians, we don't get to spend not one single day in their company. You know, the saying goes that we are the sum of the most five or six people that we hang around with. But we don't get to hang out with these people who are making our decisions for us. We don't get to hang around with these people, so we have no clue what their character is like, what their integrity is like, how they live their lives, whether or not they live by what it is that they say they live by. And so in that regard, it is up to us. If you want to make a change in your life, you have to start with you because nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody knows the path that you need to take in order for you to become a better person. But there are people in this world that will help you. We can't give you the answers, but we will help you discover them for yourself so that you might stand a chance at building the life that you know you want to build. Not because I said this is the life that, and this is the road, and this is the path that you need to take, but because you know in your heart that this is what's going to benefit me. This is what's going to benefit my family. This is what's going to benefit my children for generations to come. We have to do this. I was hurt, man. I was hurt when he said, you're stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck. You don't really have a whole lot of options right now. And so maybe you can understand the situation that I'm in. It was an extreme wake-up call for me today. Because I thought I was doing well. I thought that I was managing my finances. I thought that I was building my credit. And for a period of time, I was doing really, 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 really well. Very proud of myself. And I don't say that to say that I'm not proud of myself right now, because I didn't take what I was told as defeat. I didn't take that and say, oh, it's all over. It's all over. Because at the end of the day, I am a believer. I am a Christian. I do believe in God and I do believe in Jesus Christ. So at the end of the day, I do believe that everything is going to work out for my good and the good of my family according to his purpose, not my own. But I want to give you these words of encouragement, because when it comes to money, the one thing that we are all striving for, because it gives us a better opportunity to not just sustain ourselves, but it gives us a chance to actually live a life and not have to worry about whether or not we have enough or to take care of ourselves or our family. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And there are those of us who we go through life and we don't do what we want to do, but instead settle for what it is that we got because we don't believe that there's anything better out there. And then on the opposite spectrum of that, there are people who do what they love to do, things that they're good at, and they make really good money doing it. Those are people that we need to strive to be like. Do not settle and do not fall victim or become susceptible to people who would seek to sell you a dream that does not benefit you, that looks real shiny and nice and sounds good on the outside, but digs a bigger hole for you in the long run. Do your research, study, find out what it is that you need to know before making any life-changing decisions. My name is Miguel Lewis. I am your coach, speaker, and trainer for faith-based Christians as part of the John Maxwell team. I hope you all enjoy your weekend, and I hope that these words gave you a little bit of motivation to find out what it is that you need to do. Again, not because I said this is what you should do, but because you did your own research. Signing off. I hope you all have a great weekend.